It's just, it almost smells more like a tonka bean, kind of item. There are other soaps that have that tonka smell, and so it's really more akin to them. They're very enjoyable. I could easily shave with it a lot, and so it's not strong enough, so I don't think I would get tired of it. Especially a warm family holiday with lots of good feels. This guy might just fit right in with the whole vibe. He really might. As you can see, we do have a little bit of soap left with that bit of more than a quarter teaspoon. And it looks like I think I'm glad I added that extra bit because I could probably squeeze 2 more passes out of what I have. But this is pretty much the exact right amount of lather I like to have at the end of the shave. Also, another way to test your lather is to pull up a lot of it in your brush and do what I just did and shake it off. And look at the shape as it lands. Does it change shape at all when it lands? If it has a lot of water and a lot of weight to it, it'll kind of flatten out a little bit. If it could maybe use some more water, sometimes the shape doesn't change at all. Also, sometimes you might run into a vegan soap that could have different landmarks, or you may want to stop adding water a little more soon than a tallow soap might. I've had that happen plenty of times as well. All right, we've gotten a good rinse. And so, you know what I thought might be good with almost a gourmand shaving soap is this Brandy Spice from Clubman, a sample I got at a local Mega Beauty Supply Mart. And the notes it says are a bold scent with brandied apple, mixed spice, and musk notes. I've worn this once before, and I remember liking it. I think I remember smelling the apple in there and the spices. Let's see what I recall. Not a lot of good stuff in this particular product for your skin, but since this is such a smooth shave, it's definitely not in need of any kind of repairing balm. So I felt good about picking an alcohol splash. Yeah, that's enjoyable. You definitely get the brandied apples and the spices, but it's not overwhelming at all. I like it. All right. I bet my kids might not mind this as much as some of my other like leather and smoke type of soaps and scents and aftershaves. Well, there we go. Just a little bit of cleaning up now is all we need to do. I told you about the performance of the soap and the razor, and the brush did well. I might just do a hairdryer treatment right now, and I'll blip back to you after I've done it. Let me wash it off first and I'll show it to you. Okay, here's how it looks after a good stropping on the towel, a good rinse out, good work on the towel up and down some. Now let's go hair dry him. And here we are. Looks a lot better, doesn't it? Part of it is just the fact that it's dry, but I believe we are seeing a little bit more splitting because of that just one treatment. And I like that it's not a ton more splitting with one treatment, because I think in this case a little bit at a time might help the splits to happen more safely, and I'm more about that than I am the speed. And so I just basically hair dried it across the top until the tips were dry. And I use warm but high speed. I don't know if a high heat would be better or worse. I'm just assuming it would be a little bit more violent. So sticking with the low temperature, the warm temperature. And there we go. I think he looks very different than what he did even when I picked him up before the shave, before he even got wet. I think there's a difference. And so if he works out great after some uses, then that's really a lot of hope for the Semogue line, because many of them did move to the extra grade. Now, this is a tiny little handle. Sometimes he's a little hard to grip when he gets all soapy. It's a short brush, maybe a good travel brush, but he had such a great vintage look, and they're so inexpensive. I couldn't help but pull the trigger on him, and I'm glad I did, because he's my only extra brush, the one that has the extra bristles. And of course now I guess I could buy any number of Hereditas line, and there's a much larger selection that have the extra bristles now. This is the painted wood, and so make sure when you soak it before you shave, I maybe let the water line come up just above the painted and I don't let it get close because it can cause the wood to swell if you let it sit for too long, and then it'll crack, as you can probably see has happened to mine already. I know by experience. So the Amazelnut was enjoyable, and I think, yes, I think the Brandy Spice is actually working very well with the Amazelnut. It's a transitional thing. I don't think the Amazelnut's really hanging around very much right now, but it was a very easy and kind of natural transition from one scent to the other, which is enjoyable. I think we talked about everything. There we go. I hope there was something in this shave that helps you out as a shaver. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. You guys, take care.